What's up everybody, Charlie here from CDB Fitness. Basically took time out, I got a spare hour in my day, I wanted to record something about something that I think everyone goes through, and it relates back to the thing I was talking about in episode 1 of this little mini-series with weekend binging, and this is kind of the offshoot of that, emotional eating. So there are a few types of things that kind of relate to emotional eating, and it's half of the battle of fighting it is to recognize what they are. And the number one is habit. You know, you're stressed, you eat. You're lonely, you eat. You're with the family, you eat. And all these things is kind of like, it's just your go-to function. So like, you know, you're stressed from work, you come home, and your default comfort is food. And so that just having that habit that's probably the hardest one to break, but the first one, if you can recognize it, you can start doing something about it. Number 2 is like what we talked about, kind of being lonely. They call it heart hunger, yeah? So reaching for comfort foods when you're feeling down or when you're feeling alone. Particularly on weekends, this happens to most people, like you're with your work colleagues or at least with friends through the week, and maybe over the weekend you're at home alone and you'll turn to food, you're just sitting on the couch, you eat, things like that. And you're using a food or foods to fill a void that can't actually be filled by food, but it's that easy comfort. Number 3 is poor gut function. This sounds really bizarre, but again it relates back to kind of the 2 habits from before. If you're stressed or anxious, actually your digestion, your rate of digestion, your quality of digestion goes down. With decreased digestion, you don't absorb the nutrients as much from your food. So what does that mean? That means the signaling to the brain of how full you are, how satiated you are, is actually down-regulated. So your brain is going to be sending signals, hunger signals, back down to your stomach, and you're going to feel hungry again. And it's almost that emotion of stress and anxiety is going to be what causes you to overeat. Good coffee. And that's also where, you know, with the stress and feeding response, this almost obsessive thought with food occurs. So it can be that can be a real powerful one. Number 4 is distraction. This one I personally call like a food vacation. Usually this is the one where you're sitting on the couch, you have nothing better to do, and it's time to eat. So you just sit there and mindlessly, you're not even thinking about it, mindlessly plowing your way through all this food. But like any vacation, it has to come to an end, and it's time to, if you feel like it's out of control, it's time to recognize that and move on from there. So like all things, we need solutions, not just problems, and this is where we can kind of work through some strategies. So the first thing you should be looking to do is to get on the good gut movement. Alright, so start to heal your gut. Take a probiotic if you have to, that's number 1, and kind of a quick fix, and it might help. But also eat lots of fermented foods, and the most important thing, which is actually one of the number 1 strategies that I provide with my clients, is to slow down when you eat. Like if you're eating really quickly, that signal from your stomach and your gut to your brain of I'm full is on about a 20-minute, 30-minute delay. So if you eat your food in 10 minutes, you wait 10 minutes, that signal might not have got to your brain yet, and you're back in the fridge grabbing some food. So slow down, chew your food, and allow that digestion to happen so that you get that signal back. The second thing you can do is balance your meals, and this is actually also the second strategy I tend to go through with a lot of clients, where you should be having a meal rounded with macronutrients. Protein, carbs, and fats, all in the meal together. How many times, I use this example a lot because I can be guilty of this, like you had a big bowl of just pasta and sauce and you cane your way through it, you finish it, it's like I could definitely eat another one of them. Try and do the same thing with chicken, pasta and heaps of veggies, and I'm sure you'll feel a lot fuller and a lot more satisfied. So that's the problem there, is that you're getting this huge hit of carbs when your body perhaps wants some fats, wants some protein. So rounding out your macronutrients a little bit more. Strategy 3, eliminate nutrient deficiencies. This is a classic one from guys who I've learned a lot of precision nutrition. Firstly, make sure you're meeting all your macronutrient requirements for the day. You're getting your protein intake right. you're balancing your carbs and your fats. And after that, turn your attention to your micronutrients. When it comes to emotional eating and gut function, we're talking vitamin B, magnesium, zinc, and digestive enzymes. If you think you're lacking in one of these areas, go and get a supplement. Get a vitamin B supplement. Get a maybe even a multivitamin that will contain a good amount of magnesium and zinc. And again, that probiotic, you can get probiotics with digestive enzymes. That could all help solve some of those problems. Number 4, this is a good one for me, and I try and do this every weekend. Sweat it out. Punching bag. Go for a run. Go for a walk. Meet up with friends. Hit the town. Go for a drive with really loud music. Whatever you kind of need to do to kind of just get out and do something that you really enjoy doing. It can be anything. It doesn't actually have to be active, but I can only think of active ones because I'm an active person. One thing I like to do, I like to play computer games, so sometimes it's just a case of turning that on, banging out a few nerdy computer games and just kind of taking your mind elsewhere without food. That is a great solution to overcome emotional eating. And the 5th one, and the key to all lifestyle gains, find a sustainable solution. If your solution to emotional eating is not sustainable, you're not going to last very long. So maybe you want to practice something like the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. Eat really good food, you know, from whole food sources, and be on the plan there. The rest of that 20%, you can probably have a bit of leeway, and you can have foods that you enjoy, and you'll probably be fine. But it's when you're acknowledging that 20% that you won't eat as much of that stuff that's going to derail your progress. Of course, the classic one for sustainable solutions for me personally, and I know works for a lot of clients, if it fits your macros. This way, you don't have to feel guilty about, you know, if you have a burger, you bang it in MyFitnessPal, that's there, you eat around that, the rest of the macronutrients you've got remaining for the day, you eat around, no problem. Like, you're still going to be making progress. And again, you go out to the pub with some friends, you put a beer in MyFitnessPal, you put this fish and chips in MyFitnessPal, whatever you're having, perfect, you can get on with your day, you can continue making progress. But as long as it's sustainable, you're going to be absolutely fine. Guys, I hope that was helpful. Emotional eating, I've been guilty of it. You know, you miss people now and again. You eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's. You need friends called Ben and Jerry in your life, but not all the time, yeah? So a really good way to is just to acknowledge that to start with and work on some of those strategies. If you guys have any tips on emotional eating, leave it in the comment section below. Or if you just have a question about emotional eating, or if it's your macros, comments below. Follow me across all social media and catch up with me next time for a workout, not just me talking to the camera. Peace.